So let's ask with Kelechi's question. Starting a business, not having capital, and trying to identify her targeting audience. She says that she's into handmade leather slippers, shoes, and sandals.
All right. Hi, Kelechi. It's nice to meet you. Please give me one moment.
Of course.
Okay. Um, so I'm sure you guys have heard of aspire to perspire. Like it's a common joke that everybody, says like, oh, please don't come at me and tell me you had no money and you started a business. I'm not aspire to perspire, or maybe I am, but my story is true. I started Zavandi with zero money. If I were to quantify, if like, no, Kiva, come off it, like, tell me for real. I would say that I had 3,500 naira, which in today's money is equal to, I think that's like half a dollar, 50 cents, which I had bought some resources that helped me learn how to go about importation the right way. And then what else did I have? My phone. I had my phone. I had data, right? That was it. I started my business by just putting up pictures, learning how to promote, learning how to also package in terms of putting up a front that communicated integrity, that communicated that you could trust me. Okay. And my first customer, I remember, paid me what she had bought was 210,000 naira. She follows my personal pay till date because we built a personal relationship. That's how good that transaction went. The first item she bought was over 200,000 naira. She paid a deposit in cash of, I think, 175K in naira. I did not have a physical store. She requested a physical meeting, and so we met at a workspace where I paid a subscription fee. No, at that time I didn't have money to pay subscription fee, so I just paid for the meeting room, which cost me about 5K or 3K. I'm giving you actual figures. So you see, I'm not reading from a book. I'm not giving you like someone else's story. This is me. I did not start with any capital, or I did not start with much capital. If you calculate all of these things, it just comes into like a little bit of money. All right. I've had people approach me to say, oh, teach me how to start a jewelry business. And then they think that they needed to come with like 2 million naira starting capital. And I'm like, no, that's not how I started. And even till date, we actually run very lean inventory. I tell people that me, I don't have power for stress. So if you want to learn business from different people, they will teach you different ways. I'm very, very, I'm a hermit. I don't like to leave my house. So even when we had a store, it was my team going to the store. I know I'm already digressing a little bit, but I'm saying that you can start your business lean. And if you want to, you can even keep your model very lean. We run a very lean inventory model where we just have samples and people book appointments and stuff like that. So it's possible. That's where you're having challenges. First, you need to change your mindset. Just listen to my story. Change your mindset and try again. That's what I would say to that.
Definitely, Kiva. I definitely agree with you. And just quickly touch on that. I also have a business called Abebi by Ton, and Abebi by Ton was actually brought out of a space where I had maybe 100,000 naira left, and I didn't have a job at the time. And I was like, you know what? I have so many business ideas, and I'm going to see what I can start with this 100,000 naira. And look at me, 4 or 5 years after, and we have a much more larger inventory. Thinking about, oh, I need to have, like she said, 2 million. You have to have a specific amount of money. It's just going to keep stopping you from just starting the business. Just start with what you have. But let's move on now to Adeze Ukaigu, who says, is it possible to run Google ads without a website? Can it be redirected to my Instagram page, at least until I have a website up and running? I think that shouldn't take too long for you to answer. What do you say?
Yes, I believe so. I think the answer to that is yes. At the time when I started, it wasn't the case, but yes, I think so. But I'll add, just in case you find out that that's not the case anymore, I'm not running ads to my Instagram page, so that could have changed. Google actually allows you create a landing page, okay, for free. Site.google.com. Go there, check it out. You can create a landing page where you give people basic information about what you do, and so it can contain your handle, contain your phone number, and all of that. So if Google doesn't let you run to your Instagram page, you can certainly run to that free landing page. It will take you literally minutes to create one.
Heard that, site.google.com. All right, then moving on to the next question. She says, this is Grace Abdul, says, how do I go about putting together my online course? You need to get Kieva in your life if that's what you want. If you're looking to put together your online course and marketing to your target audience, if you want to do it on your own, Kieva will have an answer for you. But I mean, that's what she does, right?
Yeah. So I think the URL I called out earlier is site, SITE, T for tortoise, site.google.com. But for the person who's asking about online course, to be honest, I can't answer that question on this call, on this session, because you are literally asking like, how do I like build an entire empire? In addition to everything that we discussed, just that, and maybe connect with me. If you check out my Instagram, Kieva Official, just my name and official, there's a page in my bio where we actually help teach people, how to do these things. So you can just check all of that information out, and we can take it from there. But just that, if in addition to everything else that we've said so far.
All right then. Okay, so next is Evelyn Efwa Apia. I hope I'm getting that right. She says, please, I want to know how to start up a business without so much pressure on capital to start with. I believe we answered that. She also says, I would also like to know how to advertise my products digitally and how to organize online or virtual trainings for people as well. I think the first part of that has been answered. About advertising products digitally, that has been answered as well in the chat. Is there anything you would like to add for this question, Kieva?
No, actually. How to organize online or virtual trainings for people. When you decide you want to create a digital product, one of the questions you need to ask yourself is how you create the product. So do you use Zoom to record your sessions? Do you train live? I think Zoom is one of the very common ones that people use. So Zoom, learn a little bit more about Zoom. I think lots of people know Zoom. So that's really what it is. You would need to have an online school to upload your product. So you check out popular ones like Teachable, Thinkific, Katra, Kajabi. And like I said, if you check out, the Zolt Academy, that's the name of the page. We actually have, we talk about options, how to choose the platform where you upload your digital product. So, I mentioned Shopify. Shopify is what you use if you're running an e-commerce business. If you're running a knowledge business, you would need maybe some type of Teachable or Thinkific or, one of those platforms. So check out those academy. We actually talk about a lot of that. So we don't spend time just focusing on online courses in Q&A. Yeah.
All right then. Thank you so much for that answer. There's someone here who, her name is Diana Kinyawi. I pronounced that right. Oh my God. I'm out here butchering names. My name is Diana. I'm based in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm also in the jewelry business and I am working on cutting out the middleman in terms of suppliers. I'm working on building my own studio where I'll be creating all pieces from scratch. How can I scale my business with little access to funding?
All right. Hi, Diana. I can relate because this is definitely something, it's one of the things lined up on our goals as well. You're going to need funding, right? The question is, where's the funding going to come from? Would you rather bootstrap, so where you take the returns from your business and put it into that? It will take time, but less pressure. Or do you want to raise funding? Do you want to get a grant? I think that, for example, in Nigeria, we have what we call Bank of Industry. So it's a grant, they offer grants, not grants, though. I think it's loans. They offer loans to people who want to build indigenous businesses, right? So you can find equivalents in your home country. And there are even international opportunities as well that I know SLA, shares some of that information in the emails, the regular emails that go out. You'd have to decide where you want to get your funding from, whether you want to raise it yourself. It will take time if you want to bootstrap, or you want to raise funding, which could either be, equity, where you're getting some angel investor to invest and they get part ownership of your business, or you get a grant, or you get some form of debt from the bank where you're paying back in installments. So I think that's pretty straightforward. How can you scale your business with little access to funding? You keep at it, or you get funding from an external party using other people's money, leveraging other people's money. Yeah.
All right then. Now, Adeze Ukwagu is back, and she actually has two interesting questions. First off, she asks, "How do you identify and approach someone to be your mentor?" That's a very, very important question, because even I personally, there's someone in mind that I want to be my mentor, and I don't know how to approach that person. And of course, she also wants to know, when would you say a business is failing and a person should cut their losses and let it go?
Okay. Mentor, personal story. I identified someone I wanted to be my mentor, but first I have to clarify why. Uh, Sometimes you see someone from afar, but you need to do a little bit of research to be sure that this person shares, similar values with you, so that the relationship can go smooth after you've invested time. I got the opportunity to approach this person, and so that's the other thing. Find the opportunity to approach. It might mean that you have to pay for one of their services, pay for one of their trainings, where you're now able to introduce yourself. Or if they're, maybe facilitating a free event, you attend. I met my this particular mentor, by attending one of the free events that she was, organizing. And then thankfully she did a call for mentees. But beyond that, I also indicated when I had approached her to be like, oh, this is what I do. I really love what you do. Like, you've really inspired me. You've blessed me. And I think I can, help you out in XYZ area. So in that case, I was very, very led. And so I offered to help her with something. It wasn't something big. Right now, actually, it's turned out to be something big for her because over the years, we built the relationship. Someone is saying network is terrible. I don't think it's from my end, though. But I was able to render a service, and in that way, it gave us. I was able to draw closer. She was always raving about me everywhere. Kiva did this for me. Kiva did that for me. So when I needed help or anytime I need advice, it wasn't far-fetched for me to ask her. She was more than willing, to help me. That may not be the case for everybody, but I think the rules are pretty similar. You first need to find an opportunity to approach, and then see how you can also give to this person, not just take from them, and then you cultivate the relationship deliberately. How would I
Right.
say, when would I say a business is failing?
Mm.
Person should cut their losses and let it go. To be honest, I don't have a textbook answer to this. Personally, for me, when Zavani started to have issues and everybody was like, let it go, especially my ex-business partner who, is my husband. I'm like, this person knows me. For him to say I should let this business go, he must have seen something. But me, personally, I have to go back to God and check my vision. I'm like, no, this is not the end. So it was personal conviction for me. And personal conviction sometimes can mislead us. It can sometimes, especially if we're not open to counsel. Um, yeah. So personal conviction, but also guided. So guided counsel as well. If you're spiritual, you also need to go back to God if that's how you get counsel for stuff. So it's just a balance of the three: your spirituality, your personal conviction, and then guided counsel.
Okay,
I hope
thank
that
you.
answers it. I'm trying to just move fast.
Of course. We still have a few questions here.
Yeah.
Um, Someone, Cecil Obunezi Okabie, says, at the level where you are still short-staffed and you actively shuffle between every major role that a business needs to run, what are the major roles or departments to invest in to actually scale? She says, because at times it gets burdensome. She's a fashion designer and her work entails more physical energy that wears you out from being mentally creative. And you know what, Cecil, I understand where you're coming from, because even in the first year of my business, I was the customer person. I was the one who used to source fabric. The only thing I wasn't doing was actually sewing the kimonos, but everything I was so involved in. So at what point do you focus on a particular major role or department that you need to invest in to actually scale?
Oh my God, there are so many questions. Like I'm scrolling and I'm seeing so many questions. So Cecil, congratulations. You are at that point, you're experiencing growth pains. Okay. I recommend one book for you. I recommend that book for everybody on this call who wants to build for the long haul. And the title is E-Myth. So that's letter E-MYTH. E-Myth. There's an updated version called E-Myth Revisited. It's written by Michael E. Gerber. Gerber is Gerber. That book saved my life, and I'm sure it will save yours as well. But to answer your question, I think you should ask yourself, E-Myth, MYTH, 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 by Michael E. Gerber. That's the author. Okay, E-Meet Revisited. Yeah, Shay, thank you. So I'll say that look at what aspect of your business is bringing in revenue. So typically, most people first hire a sales assistant. Okay, so that's what I would recommend because that's usually the popular option. But it might not be for you. Ask yourself, what's that thing that is bringing in revenue, and you cannot afford for that thing to fail. But also take note that if you hire somebody and you do not have systems in place, you do not have documented systems, beg your pardon, documented that you can give this person, you're frustrated. And the person you've employed to will also be frustrated. And that's what happens to a lot of people. See, the moment you can scale this moment in your business, I can shake you congratulations because you're more likely to succeed. It means you scaled the first 1 to 2 years that people never get past. Okay, so you need to document systems, then hire someone and communicate those systems. If you don't have that, the person you hire will not be able to thrive in the role you've hired them to handle. Yeah. Let me just leave it at that.